Okay, so here's going to be my process on working on some of these Autoracks. These particular ones, and the ones I'm going to be modifying pretty extensively at some point, are the Bachmann models. I have 15 of them, and all of them are going to need some work. The first main issue is they come stock with horn hook couplers, and I'm not for that. So here's how I'm modifying them. This whole table's a mess. But this is how the cars normally start out with. What I do here is in the middle, shave just past that, put that bar right in front of my finger with a flat blade X-Acto knife. And it's going to turn out something like that. File it down. Then on these boxes, to get the right height, you snip off this piece right here. This piece that sticks up to avoid having it push against the body, because you want it flat up against the edge. The car overlaps right on the edge there, so it is a tight fit, and obviously you can't do 18-inch radius curves with it, but that's how I'm modifying my fleet of them. That's the start of all the modifications. It lines up perfectly with the correct trucks that I'm going to be using, but for now it gets pretty close with the even with the stock trucks. Okay, now I'm going to be using weights from Harbor Freight. You can get them in quarter and half-ounce sizes. For this kind of car, it doesn't matter. It's going to be covered up by that car body anyway, so you're not going to see anything. Okay, so right now, I turn the scale on to ounces. Not grams, ounces. There we go. Zero it out. Okay, now it's 0. So let's set this truck on. This is going to be the final weight of these cars. We're looking at 2.9 ounces. That seems super low for these cars. Let's grab another one. That's not that one. Some of these have some weight added to them. And yeah, already. So that one's 2.5. So yeah, this one, that original one, is going to have the correct wheels on it. So the wheels are going to add a little bit of weight. So we're just going to go with that. So we're going to add some weight in it accordingly. So if we want to have a final verdict of about 6 inches or 6 ounces. So if we're going to want to have a final verdict of 6 ounces, we're going to have to add 3 ounces per car. Okay, so it looks like about 2/8 per car is what it takes to get it right on the money. That's perfect. It was seeming like it was going to be more, but that's exactly what I was hoping for. I guess the scale must have been funny, but now it seems to be wanting to do what it's supposed to do. So we're right at 6 ounces, the perfect weight for these cars. Now to weigh a Walther's car. I'm at 5.4. It's a little under. I don't care. That's fine. More details are going to be coming later. I might add a little bit of weight, but overall, perfect. Okay, so now we've already got the cars all weighing the same. And we've got the couplers on. The last thing for performance, for the initial performance anyway, we need to change the trucks. So trucks are just these plain bearing purple molded axles with plastic wheels. Nowhere near where we want to be at. The only one these are accurate for the Canadian National cars. So we're going to go ahead and switch them out for another product. These GSC BX trucks. These come from Walthers. They're proto line. I'm going to go ahead and open one up here. So this is what they look like. These are pretty much the exact ones that the Autotrain used. A good thing is all metal wheels. They look relatively accurate. Only thing I don't like is how there should be just open air between there, but here's what it is. These are black. I ended up painting them purple at some point, but right now I'm just trying to get at least the performance-wise down. So what we do want to check before we get into it is that the wheels are all engaged. They should be, and you see there, they are on both sides. You just want to check it anyway. Stuff happens. A little bit of manufacturing issues. So when we install these, we're going to install these with the open end towards the coupler box. That way it has a little bit more room, and it will eventually snag on corners, but they all have to be pretty tight. Now the original uses this plug, which I still want to use, but it's too thick as far as the head goes. Okay, we've got it all trimmed down, and then go in and push it on. Let's go in and push it on. And go freely. And when I did do all of the testing for the coupler height, it was all with these trucks in design. I had one pair of these trucks and I wanted to see if they were the right ones, because some of these are hard to find, and it did. But as you see on the bottom, they do eventually contact when you're on it. However, if you're contacting, then you're probably not even attached to anything anyway, just because of the length of these cars. So I'll go ahead and do it in the other one. Goes on too tight, and just loosen a little bit. You'll be good to go. Okay. Now that that's over, I need to do it 13 more times. Okay, so that's all of them weighed. All of them are now within the NMRA spec. They're about 6 ounces a piece, so it's going to be a pretty heavy train. Just in these cars alone, that's not including all the passenger cars. Altogether, this train's about to have about 39 cars by the time I'm done with it. But yeah, it's coming along slowly but surely. Need to work on getting the body work done. Some of these have some flash on them and stuff. I want to put new steps. Might shave part of these steps that are right there. Only a couple of them had it in the beginning, but that's about it. It's not a little work. That's a lot of work, so we'll see how that goes around, but we'll see how we move forward. Final thing I did is paint the trucks, and then afterwards I used my Micromark truck tuner to clean up the ends of the axles to get some of that paint out and just tune it so it rolls a little more freely. I have about 21 cars total that are ready to go, so I need it to be pretty free. The next thing you're going to see is a side shot of all the cars rolling by. I have about 15 of these Bachmann Autoracks for the Autotrain, and well, you'll see them all.